But what's happening this week is the energy is just here. Okay, it's just escalated and it's everywhere and it's permeated. I'll even notice when I go into the kitchen, there's like this setup of intensified source frequency. You can call that light and love or God, whatever you want to call it. And so when I walk into it, I get a little bit lightheaded, which indicates to me that spirit is anchored in my kitchen. And I can tell that with this anchoring of light in my kitchen, it's there to give me guidance. It's there to talk with me, to help me. So whenever I'm in the kitchen and I'm making food and I'm doing what I'm doing, Source is having a chat with me, which is really cool. So it's just like extra backup, okay? How not alone we are. You guys wouldn't even believe it. Well, hello there. Fancy meeting you here. I am going live in my group, Intuitive Angel Messages, through Facebook. If you see some mistiness, it's just my incense. It is not spirit. How has everybody been feeling with the ascension symptoms lately? Integration this week has been something else. I haven't gotten much sleep. My body's overheating. I don't feel like I want to eat food. And my mind is racing. So these can all be like signs of the energy ramping up. And the other thing that's happening is, usually the energy would come in bursts, right? And you get it, and then you get a break, and then you get another burst, and then you get a break. But what's happening this week is the energy is just here. Okay, it's just escalated and it's everywhere and it's permeated. I'll even notice when I go into the kitchen, there's like this setup of intensified source frequency. You can call that light and love or God, whatever you want to call it. And so when I walk into it, I get a little bit lightheaded, which indicates to me that spirit is anchored in my kitchen. And I can tell that with this anchoring of light in my kitchen, it's there to give me guidance. It's there to talk with me, to help me. So whenever I'm in the kitchen and I'm making food and I'm doing what I'm doing, Source is having a chat with me, which is really cool. So it's just like extra backup, okay? How not alone we are. You guys wouldn't even believe it. You really wouldn't. And coming up soon is the remote viewing course. And that's another wonderful course to take to be able to see what's going on in your home, what's going on in somebody else's location, okay? If you're going to go visit somewhere, or if you get an odd feeling somewhere, or you want to see what's going on with your own energy, okay? So this is going to be a huge course that's coming February 17th until the 19th. And I teach it with the angels, okay? And they give their feedback in regards to remote viewing and, of course, practicing remote viewing. Last time, where did we go? We went to Mars. We went to the Bermuda Triangle. We went to Egypt and looked at the pyramids over the years. And we went and delved back in time to the days of the dinosaurs. It was absolutely fascinating to see what everybody was experiencing. It might not just be what you are seeing, but what you are hearing, how you're feeling all of a sudden in your body. Okay, it's wild. Okay, so that's coming up on the 17th till the 19th, and you guys can go to KristinDaviesMedium.com if you'd like to join in with us. Awesome. Oh, and if you guys don't know, I'm coming on live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. PST, and I'm talking about teeth. I'm talking about my teeth, okay? So I'm going to be talking about my teeth. I'm going to be talking about dental implants. I'm going to talk about all-on-4 bridges versus dentures, zygomatic implants versus bone grafting and sinus lifts, okay? Sinus lifts, messing with your sinuses, that might have to happen, but let's just try another way, shall we? Which is the way that I did it. Oof, I hope you're okay, Renata. Holy smokes, just 2 days ago. I'll tell you, some people will walk out of this surgery and they're right as rain. They have no pain. A lot of people have said this. I wasn't one of those people. I was not. Oh, you're on pain medication? Thank God for that. Thank God for pain meds. I'll tell you, you need them, especially in that first 6 days after surgery. But I'm a little bit of a delicate flower, whereas somebody else might come out of this surgery and be totally fine. I've seen men and women come out of the surgery I had, and they're totally fine. And I'm like, I can't even get on the plane, you know? Oh, wow. Wow. You drove 3.5 hours. Wow. Man. Sometimes you have to go a distance to get the right procedure done, and that's what I did. And I came to realize that I most definitely went to the right place. And I want to talk about that so that everybody has a good understanding about what all of this entails: price, cost, everything, okay? Okay, so he says many of us are using substances, drugs to cope, and he understands that we may feel that this is needed at this time, especially when under a great duress or stress. But he would like us to consider another path, another direction. The other direction in which he's suggesting is slowly removing these substances from our vessels, because over time it is directly impacting and affecting our body, okay, and not in a good way. And we only have one body, okay? He's smiling and saying, it's not like we can just switch it out like a light bulb and, you know, pop right into a different body. We have only one. So it's really important. Also, we might find that we get immediate gratification from delving in and drinking or doing drugs or whatever we're doing. But what he's finding is that it's much more important to have a longer lasting way of coping in the world. And that's really important. So going out into nature, eating really good high vibrational diet, so lots of fruit and veggies. They always show me like dark leafy greens, dark green vegetables, okay? And foods that uplift you, because everything carries a frequency, right? And although, you know, in my day, you know, I coped with alcohol too, I mean, I used to sit at home by myself after a long day, and my body was in a lot of pain because I used to have a house cleaning company. So I would have alcohol to numb my body and numb me, because here I was on a path that I wasn't happy being on. I wasn't happy with that career path. I wasn't happy at that age doing that work. But ultimately, we know where that led. More health problems, more problems physically, a lot more. Okay. And he's talking about, faster aging of the brain, faster aging of the body. It's just a coping mechanism in which he would like us to consider shifting and moving in a different direction. So that's going out in nature, eating more high vibrational foods. Everything carries a vibrational frequency, right? So what you put into your vessel is going to carry something that's uplifting, or it's going to be stagnant, or just downright not good for you. Like when you can take Coca-Cola and clean off your car battery with it, I wonder what it's doing to your insides, right? In the days ahead, there's going to be an uptick of, they use the word uptick, of increased reasons to have stress on the planet. Okay? So we're going to see things, we're going to experience things, and it's all a reshuffling he's talking about on Earth. Okay? A reconfiguring is the way that the angels are seeing it. It's a shuffling or a reconfiguration on planet Earth. Okay? Don't let this reconfiguration on Earth bother you for lengthy periods of time. Just let it all unfold naturally, gradually, as it is meant to. He's also talking about like some of the things that you see happening that you would say, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. I can't even believe this is happening. So we might see it like it's the worst thing ever, but in truth, some of these things need to take place. Some of these things champion others to rally forward or forth to make changes happen on Earth. Some of these things are happening to highlight misinformation that is being given on Earth. When we're watching what we're watching, we're getting some misinformation. There are a lot of reasons why these things are transpiring and occurring. And always remember that each person has their own team of angels watching over them and protecting them and taking care of them. If you want to send a request, talk to that person's team, pray, however which way you want to do it. The third way is just complaining a lot. If you're complaining a lot, you're also calling in the angels. But I prefer, because complaining drops your frequency, and it drops the frequency of those around you. So I prefer to just talk and unload and let them know what I expect, what I want. And then I'll say something like this or something better, because maybe they have something better in mind. And if they can see everything, then why wouldn't I just say, well, I have my viewpoints, but maybe you have something better. Okay? You can help rally by sending out requests or praying or talking, however which way you want to do it. And that is also vastly important. You don't realize how important it is, maybe because you're not seeing what we see. And the way they show it to me is you have a thought or you say it out loud, and it's energy that's sent out and everybody picks up on it. You are a radio station broadcasting your thoughts and your voicing of how you feel or what you want. And since we're in a free will zone here on Earth, it's really important that you voice what you want and what you're praying for or what you are asking help for. And he's also talking about belief is key, right? If you keep focusing on what you don't like in life, you're just going to keep sending energy and focusing and bringing forth, probably quite slowly, because it's probably something that's dropping your frequency, but you're going to just add to the fuel to the fire. Why would, so as you're doing that, just be the still observer of your thought, okay? Be the stillness observing, and then shift. It's a real quick pivot. Okay, well, it'll work itself out and I don't need to think about it anymore. The angels got it. I already asked the angels for help. They got it. The how it comes in is not up to me. The how is up to the angels, okay? You just pivot, pivot, pivot. You can drag it on and keep hyper fixating on something, or you can pivot real quick. And I love to pivot. Okay, so that's what he wants us to know. It's really important that we meet spirit halfway, especially if we want to have an open dialogue and communication with them, to ensure that our frequency is as high as it can be from our doing, from our action steps, from what we're doing, what we're eating, what we're doing, what we're thinking, okay? When we feel low or down, it's important to, go out into nature, to have nature help us get uplifted, eating uplifting, high vibrational foods, high vibrational self-talk. And if you have any issues with any of these and you need help, simply ask, and we will step forth to assist you. Okay? So say you can. There was a day when I said that. I cannot stop drinking alcohol. I can't. It's like every time I'm sitting there, even when I didn't want to, my mind was going to the fridge. So one thing I decided to ask, I started to just say it's time for some backup. So I called in Jesus, and or I call him JC or whatever. It's the soul of Jesus. Okay, he's had many lifetimes, many different avenues, but he's really helpful. He can help in ways that are, and if you don't want to call there, then you could go Mother Mary or Archangel Michael or whomever you feel, or Grandma or Grandpa, is anybody, okay? But the key is that we don't just sit there, but we ask for help, we ask for backup. And that's when Jesus started to guide me and steer the ship a little bit. And and then we started to just shift the energy and move me in a different direction. And now I can go buy a liquor store. I can go into a liquor store. I can, the one time I felt slightly tempted this past year is when I went to wine country last summer. But I just know it's not worth it. And I know what it's going to do to my vessel, so I don't. Anything else? Okay. It's really important that we keep our attention and our focus in a high vibrational direction, to hold and carry the light moving forward. Okay. So what does it mean to carry the light? It means you're taking good care of yourself. You're keeping your frequency high. You're doing your best to pivot when things are heavy. And you're constantly focusing on the heaviness, okay? And asking the angels to help you, or your spirit guides, or grandma, or grandpa, whoever. Just ask for help. Sit back. And then the key is, I'm not going to sit there and stress and worry. So that doesn't make much sense, does it? I'm going to ask for help and then I'm going to fixate on it. I'm going to worry about it every 2 seconds. No. You're going to turn and pivot your attention off of it. You're going to act, if you need to, like it's not even taking place. Give the angels and your grandma, grandpa, whomever enough time to bring about a different outcome, okay? And your job is just to keep as high vibrational as possible and focus on the good stuff in life. I mean, I didn't come here to like worry and be fearful all the time. That's not why I came to Earth. That's not a good time. All right, does anybody have any questions for my guardian angel, Bartholomew? Ooh, chronic sinusitis. Oh my gosh, don't really, okay. Yeah, I hear you on that. I can't handle antibiotics too much either. Or heavy duty pain meds. I get nauseous and I throw them up. And that's likely why I felt like this oral surgery I just had was a real wallop on my little butt for the first week afterwards. Sinus lift is what you will need if you haven't got enough bone in your jaw. Okay? So how are they going to get the implant in there? So they'll do some bone grafting, and then they'll lift your sinus, and then the implant will go in, and the tip of it will be just inside your sinus. So I had a real strong opinion of that when I went in to have this surgery completed, and they said, for one tooth that needs an implant, it can be useful. But when you have bone loss all throughout your entire face, what do you do? Sinus lift was not something I was interested in. I chose to go with zygomatic implants, and that was a lot better, in my opinion. Okay, so sinus infection or sinusitis. I'm getting the word systemic. Okay, so what are we going to do about it? It's what you're willing to do about it. Okay, so they'll give you guidance, Deborah, but it's also about what you're willing to do about it. So they can give you their 2 cents, but are you going to take action steps on it? Well, let's get the 2 cents anyways, okay? I keep getting like creating more moisture in the home, or more moisture is needed. So I don't know. I'm assuming this means like we set up a humidifier and get some more moisture in the room at night, maybe in the room that you're sitting in. Okay, I get a thumbs up on that. That's one way to settle things down, but that's not going to completely resolve things. That's going to settle it down though. There's a difference. Completely getting rid of it. Let's see where they go. Okay, so you can schedule an appointment with a nose, throat, eye doctor. Is that so? Is it somebody that specializes in this area? Okay, so that's one suggestion. And of course, I'm always one that says if you don't like the guidance coming from one, go to another if you can. Yeah, and they're talking about you may need at some point to move in the direction of antibiotics. And if she can't stomach the antibiotics, then what? See, it's interesting with this because I had a chest cold when I came home and from this trip. When you're sitting on the airplane right now, if you're traveling anywhere, wear a mask, okay? Because everyone and anyone who's sick is on the plane. They're in the airport. You'll hear it. People sneezing and coughing non-stop. And the woman next to me was coughing for 4.5 hours. And I was like, I'm going to wear my mask. But guess what? When you first get implants loaded into your face, the mask heats up your face, right? So it got too hot. So they also had the heat blasting on us, which I tried to talk to them about, but they were like, well, that's just how it is. So that was that. So here I am. I can't wear a mask. I got a bag of ice. I'm holding the ice on my face, and this woman is coughing for 4.5 hours straight. And I've also got a guy behind me sneezing. So people who say, I was sick for pretty much 3 weeks. Yeah, because people are sick and they're traveling because they need to travel. People are going to travel, and you don't have to wear a face mask. You don't have to. So highly recommend you do. At least reduce the chance, because if someone's sitting there coughing and sneezing for hours, there you go. Okay, yeah, thank you. Ears, nose, and throat doctor, and ENT, thank you. So that's what I'm getting. So what I want to say to you is, when I had that chest cold, I went to the health food store and I got what has worked for me in the past. And it did work. It boosted my immunity, and I moved through it. And then I ended up getting strep from a friend of mine. So I'm on this from the health food store, and it licked it in about 4 days. So I knew what I was doing was working. Maybe it was 3 days. I was like, oh my goodness. So, but with this, because my next thought is going to the health food store or a place where you can get more of a natural remedy. But I'm not getting that that's going to fix this. Okay? And it's not. Nothing there in that location is going to fix this systemic issue, is what I'm getting. And they're giving me a thumbs up. Because I'm always like, well, try something natural where you don't have the side effects that antibiotics may give. And of course, like if we're taking antibiotics, we're going to eat a big meal, pop that pill in, and keep eating the rest of the meal. So it protects your stomach and digestive tract. And that was the issue after surgery. For me, is I was having a hard time getting food in for me. Other people are like, no problem. I'm like, a little portion twice a day. So the antibiotics were really bothering me. So I couldn't take them. Okay. Wow. Yeah. It was the entire month of December for me, the entire month of November for you. Wow. Yeah. And you ended up going to the health food store and getting stuff too. Yeah. Absolutely. There's certain things that they have there that really help the immune system kick into full gear. And really, the other thing that they have helps to dry out. So if you have a lot of congestion, it just completely by the third day is unbelievable. Really, it really is. Yeah. You can take probiotics while you're taking antibiotics. For me, the antibiotics eat up my stomach and my gut. So, and one thing I've noticed is the antibiotics don't seem as strong where I am versus down in Florida, for example. Holy strong, holy, bigger tablets, so strong. So maybe the pharmaceutical companies are a little bit pumping out bigger, stronger pills. Oh, there we go. You use the mist. Okay, perfect. Yep. So, but if we want to lick this and really just turn it around permanently, we're going to have to do something a little bit more intensive, is what I'm receiving. And I get a thumbs up with that. Because once something's systemic, or it's kind of carrying on, or it kind of goes away for a little bit, but it comes right back, and you can't knock it back a peg to the point where it doesn't return, then what I'm getting here is it's going to have to be something a little bit more. It's going to have to be more. This is where we're absolutely blessed. We have the choice of going for acupuncture, getting Chinese herbs, okay? That's pretty wild. And I've done that route, and I'll tell you, those Chinese herbs are so strong. Unbelievable. There's a reason why they've lasted thousands of years. because we didn't have antibiotics, we didn't have drugs back thousands of years ago. So what did they use, right? They used herbs, plants. So when you're going to the health food store, you're going to see a lot of herb or plant-based products. And just thank goodness we have this available for us, right? Does anybody have any other questions that they want to ask? Because we have the choice. We can try this route or we can try this route. And depending on who's listening to this, one person will say, oh, I'm all natural all the way. Or another person will say, how could you even talk about a health food store? There's only one path. There's only going to the doctor and there's only getting on drugs. But some of us have very sensitive bodies with, more serious repercussions of taking certain things. But I've also learned that there are ways of doing things that make it easier on my body. So eating a lot of food with it, maybe I only take half the antibiotic at a time. There's just lots of different things that can be recommended, I'm sure, from other professionals that will make it easier as well. Okay, so any last words? Deborah, your team is just saying that everything will be all right. I just feel like you're in a really good place where you live. Everything's taken care of. There's a lot of contentment, a lot of peace. If we can just tweak these certain things that are an issue and help them get better, that's the key. All right, everyone. I hope you guys have an awesome Saturday. Join me tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we're going to talk about chompers, okay? And everything about it. All right. Have a wonderful Saturday. Bye.